Hello, my lovely Aquarii. How are you doing? It is getting late here on Sunday night, October 5th. So I'm just wrapping up some of my astrological reflections for the full moon for the 12 zodiac signs. So you're my penultimate, my second to last. So I hope this finds you well, Aquarius. I'm Carmen, the Star Lady, and I just wanted to give you a brief astrological reflection on what I see showing up for you, possibly in the next couple of days with this full moon in Aries. So I want to invite you first to take a look back around the 29th of March of this year. What was going on for you at that time? What new ideas were you having? What hopes or wishes or thoughts like, that would be interesting. I should maybe look into doing that. We're looking at that time, March 29th of this year, was the new moon in Aries. So what that means is seeds were being planted around action in regards to this area of your chart. So it's the third house for you, Aquarius. We have Aries in the third house, and we have Luna in all her glory here in the third house. Now, what's interesting about the third house for the moon is that she's exalted here. No, she's not exalted. Sorry. She finds her joy in the third house. The third house is called Goddess, and it's a spiritual house. So there might be a new movement for you around a spiritual practice. And that could actually kind of manifests itself in a writing project or a new way of communicating. Perhaps you're doing like a YouTube video or a blog or something like that where you're communicating about a spiritual topic. The third house speaks to communication, and so something new is happening. It could be a new way of thinking and letting other people know about that thinking process for you. The third house also speaks to siblings. Maybe there is a new beginning for you and your siblings. It's a fire sign, but Luna is really relational. So there could be some heated discussion, but the moon herself is really about connectivity. And specifically, if you're a woman, about relationships with your sisters and fostering those relationships with your sisters. And the third house also speaks to your neighborhood. Your neighbors, it's like the water that a fish swims in. You know, you have a fish in a bowl, and the third house is that water that the fish finds itself in. And it's the same for us. You know, who are you connecting with on a daily basis? You know, what tasks are you doing that you really enjoy? Is it about starting a new routine that supports you and you find pleasure in, that you really enjoy doing that? You know, it might be journaling, you know, with your morning coffee. You're like, I'm going to start journaling, and maybe I'll make this journal into a blog post or something like that. So for you, Aquarius, we're seeing some new things happening around communication, possibly with siblings and in your neighborhood. Is there a project that your neighbors are inviting you to join in with? And again, likely this is connected to seeds that were planted around the 29th of March of this year. So what was going on for you at that time, and and how was that showing up for you as well? So Aquarius, I'm going to pull a tarot card. I've got my trusty tarot deck here. And so with pulling this tarot card, I'm looking for either a confirmation, a clarification, or maybe some advice for you, Aquarius, as you enter into these next couple of days where you're going to have this full moon energy at work in your life. We have the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is about, pages speak to people who are learning to do new things, and the cups speaks to our emotions. So I think about this with Luna being the moon who's about, those connections, that relationship, and how that might actually show up in a spiritual sense for us. Not, like what is spirituality? It's where we make meaning. Is there a new way for you to make meaning in regards to the emotional body, how you're experiencing the world and experiencing your relationships? Perhaps there's a new way of communicating, or you're learning to communicate about those topics. So that's really interesting, with that kind of focus on the emotional body, which the moon does speak to. So that's what I have for you, Aquarius. I want to thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate you being here. Please feel free to like or comment. I love engagement with the community. And I am hoping that I will see you in the next one. Awesome. Thanks so much, Aquarius. Please take care. See you later.